I'm Alex, and today I'm going to be upcycling this plaid slack into a cute top. Potentially cute top. I don't know how this is gonna go. This is also the first time I'm going to be tracing out my own patterns. The only con is that I don't have a whole lot of fabric to practice with, which is the rub. So I have to get it right and get it tight. Find a top you wouldn't mind wearing and loosely base your pattern off of it and manipulate it in order to fit to your body. So it's pinned, and now it's time for me to cut it, but it's a little daunting. I only have one shot at this. One pants. Am I gonna capture it or let it slip? Now, while you're cutting, you wanna make sure that each side of the pant leg is accounted for, that you're not like cutting into the seam or something, because it might be kind of janky if you do. Anyway, I really enjoy pinning. It allows me to have very intellectual phone conversations like they say, you know, Eiffel 95 didn't just come out with babadoo dabada. So once you are all pinned up, it's time to get to sewing. First sew the middle section of your bodice and then the two side sections. And then once that's all done, you should stand in front of the mirror, do a bust test, like a chicken. Now I'm just gonna pin this last piece to this, and then we're gonna see where we end up before hemming. I feel like this is just so calm. I mean, so the top is hemmed and pretty much done. Now we have to add the straps, and I'm thinking of doing like a corset situation in the back, which it might be a little scandalous. It's very business in the front and like woo in the back. I tried really hard to make the straps of the same fabric, but it turns out that there was not a whole lot of fabric attached to that pant. Long story short, this is how the straps came out. This will not do. I tried so hard and got so far. In the end, it doesn't even matter because I'm using seam binding instead. We're just gonna sew it up to this guy, and you're gonna see my plan. What are you all fashioned about? I have the strappy boys on. Is it perfect? Abso-freaking-lutely. I've been considering something. What if I just put like 2 loops on the back as the corset? Just like 2 of them. I'm not doing it to have less work to do. I just think it might be better. It might be more of a like butterfly back. I don't know if that's the terminology, but we'll see. And while I was gingerly pinning my back flaps, an idea struck me. I was thinking about the loops that I'm gonna be putting on the back to kind of corset the situation. I look back here on the pants itself, the pockets have these little loops. I'm very excited. I was recently in Gulf Shores, Alabama, and it was there that my car got towed. My girl, my 2005 RAV4 Toyota, was taken. She was taken, she was touched. And not only was she taken, but she was taken to a second location, which if you haven't heard, do not go to a second location ever. Someone tries to get you into their car, you fight back, you run. Do not get in the car because that car will inevitably take you to a second location. Well, my car got towed and she was taken to a second location, but I did find her. She cost a pretty penny. The ransom was high to park in an area where my girl would be kidnapped. I don't know where this story was going. Anyway, they shouldn't take your cars to second locations. I know New York, they don't have any place to take your car, so they just put a boot on it. I'd prefer you to put a boot on my car. Like you could touch her, but only a little bit. Don't like freaking drag her. Ugh, Alabama. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut these little loops. After I sew my loops, I just have one more thing to do, and then I am done. I did do another thing. Yeah, I sewed a flippin' mask. I didn't realize until after I sewed it, the way the plaid meets in the center of my face, it looks a lot like... Anyway, wear a mask. And for the next DIY, I will be doing the hybrid shirt. This is an idea I stole off of Letitia, whose video I will link down below. Hers looks great, and it's apparently easy, so I thought I'd give it a whirl. This particular DIY is going to be gifted to my niece. So this gift is coming from 2 shirts that I got at the thrift store. But she's gonna love it. These are 2 of her favorite colors, and she's gonna like the little monster face. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be slitting the shirt down the middle. I don't know how I have a rotary cutter, but I don't have a yardstick. That's kind of ridiculous. But it's fine. I'm just gonna put it right here. I don't want to ruin her. Okay. Then I move it just a tiny bit upward. Oh, Charlotte. Oh my god, the stress. The stress. Okay. Okay. Whew. Okay. It is 19.5 inches roughly. What? 8.75. Oh my god. I'm losing it. It would be right here if my calculations are correct. Yo, that don't look correct. Also, this is when my brother dressed me like Kid Rock. And this is my brother as a vampire. My brother and I at my cousin's wedding. Because I know you were wondering. Let me put the guard on and do that thing like I did on the last one. Like having kind of a line was nice. You see, it gets kind of weird up here. I don't know if it's because of the elastic. I'm so scared. Let's do it. Seam allowances. Do we want to see how they kind of look side by side? So this is the vision. Actually everything looks like it's gonna line up really well. Yes, everything was going really well. However, at this moment, I then heard a scuffle and a shriek come from the living room. When I went out to investigate, thinking my mother had been accosted, what I found was... It's gonna go on top of the little bookcase, and then it's gonna be on forever. You need to go down. But maybe, hold on, wait. Oh my god, it's on the run! What if I could suck it up at the back? Oh my god. You think I could? It's very fast, Mom, and I don't think the suction on that is strong. Okay. Ready? I'm ready. I'm gonna jab it. Okay. Back to sewing, I then pinned both sides of the shirt together. Bow, bow, bow. Oh, baby, baby. Oh, was I supposed to know? As I was running the back of the shirt through the machine, I made sure not to tug and pull. I wanted to make sure I didn't stretch the elastic, and so I had a pretty light hand in it. I ended up getting really confident through this shirt project. Too confident. You got it. And just like that, I found my cup of confidence runneth over. Before she spilleth all over the ground. Oh no. A bobbin ran out of thread. It's all sewed. Just need to turn it inside out, or right side out, and see the actual product. Since this DIY is actually for my niece, I figured I would just have her do the grand reveal.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, it's together! Oh my gosh, that's so cool!
Oh my god!
Oh my gosh, it's so cool!
You made me want to cry!
She made it!
Yeah. Go. My third DIY is an original. Well, probably not, but as far as I know it is. So I'll be taking that oversized coral shirt I have been wearing, namely during the murder. I suppose this would be tampering with evidence. So first you're going to be cutting off one sleeve.
We are the tethered.
I apologize for that, but I just couldn't resist after the first DIY. So you're going to begin cutting your sleeve. Also, excuse the wet spot. I ended up discovering a stain that's on the shirt. Put on the shirt, have the dangling sleeve under your pit and almost just like simulate it as you'd wear it. and you're going to stretch the sleeve across your chest. Now this is to gauge how much excess fabric is going to be on that side of the shirt, so you could pin it up and then eventually sew it and then cut off the excess, because there's a lot of fabric involved and you don't want to have to deal with that. Pin the excess fabric where you have the dangling sleeve, run that through the sewing machine. This is the part where your shirt actually starts taking shape. And so once it's all sewn up, you're going to cut off the excess. Again, we want to limit the amount of fabric we have on the shirt, which is already a lot. And then once that's cut, you are going to then put on the shirt again and stretch your sleeve across the shirt, meeting with that excess fabric on the other side. This is where things are really coming together. So take your time, look in the mirror, docile your hair. I don't know if that's word docile. No, that means you're obedient. No, just fluff up your hair, because then it'll make the outfit look better. I think that's my logic here. Once you stick back down at the sewing machine, your sleeve and the fabric on the other side are already going to be pinned together. Take this opportunity to actually cut the fabric of the sleeve that's going across on the inside, because if you take into account that those would be 3 layers of fabric, and that's a lot of fabric that's just unnecessary. So just clip the inside section of that sleeve, that half, before you sew it. At this point, once you go to sew the sleeve to the excess fabric, you are in the final inning. It's like almost over. The camera definitely died, but believe me, you weren't missing much. So you can take this time to hem the shoulder. So there it is, a cinched coral little ditty. All right, that's it.